Cause y'all know what it is.
TNN Trap News Network.
I was with Rich Trapper.
I fucks with you.
Warning, this video is for satire, educational, and comedy use only. It is not intended to be actual fact, nor is it intended to give real meaning to any of the questions you ponder about late night.
Now, this situation, let me make sure I get my 1-2 step like Sierra on, because that's all I'm saying. This situation has gone from crazy to crazier as Young and Jefe has reached out from the jail system and said that he wanted Alex Alonzo and Angie Smalls to stay away from his court date. For those of you guys who don't know, Angie Smalls was at Young and Jefe's court date earlier this week, or last week, excuse me, and it was not received well by Young and Jefe. Despite the fact that all public and media are allowed with the proceedings, Young and Jefe did not seem like he cared, and he wanted to make it clear that he wanted Angie Smalls and Alex Alonzo to stay away from his court date. Now, here at TNN Trap News Network, we have a lot of love for Alex Alonzo. He does a lot of great things within our podcast space, within our content space, and he's a trusted, reliable source for news we can use and knowledge we can't get in nobody's college.
What happened?
I don't want to keep Alex Alonzo's face frozen like that. Sorry. With that all being said, man, I'm sure Alex Alonzo may have some things to say about this. We're going to just shut up and let him take his content.
And with more clarity. Thanks for tapping in with Street TV.
Welcome, Alex.
I have an update on the arraignment of Young Ant Jefe and his co-defendant Johnny Gray. I am doing this video to provide a little bit more clarity than the previous one that I did with Angie Smalls.
You probably won't be doing that again.
I understand there was a lot of complaints about the information, but I have the notes. I got the notes of what happened. And
I think that he's irritated because Angie took a more tabloid kind of like National Enquirer media gossipy approach to this instead of an actual like an actual what's the word I'm looking for? Journalistic, serious, investigative, reportive approach.
In court on last week, and let's go over it, and hopefully that'll bring you some more clarity to this situation. Now, Young and Jefe and Johnny Gray both came into arraignment court, and they came in from separate locations within the Los Angeles County Jail. Young Ant was wearing a blue shirt, a LA County blue shirt, and Johnny Gray was wearing a yellow shirt. Now, the yellow shirt means that an inmate has been given some sort of medical classification.
Yellow tops and blue bottoms mean mental health.
It could mean that he has mental illness. It could mean that he is under some
that boy Johnny Gray playing crazy. I ain't mad at him.
Medical supervision. It could just mean that someone is playing a role. I don't know the specifics of it, but the yellow is a mental classification, and the blue LA County shirt is for general population. All right, so let's get into what happened in court after the two brothers appeared. Now, there was an attorney, I guess an attorney swap that Ant did. He was assigned a public defender from the alternate public defender's office, and that attorney was present, but also Ant's private attorney was present as well. So they were swapping out. And his private attorney named Loist Fletcher told the court that he's taking over the case, and the judge excused the alternate public defender.
So today, Mr. Shellman was arraigned.
Okay. So I'm not even sure who this guy is, but okay. Oh, this is This is Ant's lawyer.
Was he entered the plea of not guilty? I substituted to the case as well. And subbed out the assigned public defender.
Now, Mr. Gray has an attorney named Armando Rodriguez. He is a bar panel attorney. Remember, I spoke about this on a previous video. regarding the no jumper beating case. It's when the public defender can't do the job, the alternate public defender can't do the job, there's some sort of conflict. And when that occurs, both with the public defender's office and the alternate public defender's office, they have a list of private attorneys. They're called bar panel, and they work on behalf of the public defender's office, but they're private attorneys, which means
it's a like an upgraded public defender.
that
It's a super public defender.
he doesn't have to pay for that attorney. So both attorneys expressed to the court, both attorney Rodriguez for Mr. Gray and attorney Fletcher for Shellman, both expressed concerns about not having discovery. And initially, attorney Rodriguez, this would be Johnny Gray's attorney, said they wanted to postpone the arraignment till the 26th because he was lacking discovery. So the judge asked Mr. Gray, is that what you want to do? Do you want to postpone this arraignment because of a lack of discovery and postpone it to June 26th? The judge reminded the defendants that they have a right to a speedy arraignment, meaning you can have your arraignment right now, or we can do it on the 26th. And there seemed to be some disagreement between.
Now, I'm wondering if Young and Jefe and his homie are on the same case or have their cases been separated. Because if their cases were separated, then it wouldn't be an issue for dudes to go to court whenever, however, blah, blah, blah. But if it's not, then it would be different.
Johnny Gray and his attorney, because the attorney wanted to postpone this arraignment to the 26th. And then they had a brief conversation off the record, which we couldn't really hear. And then once the attorney came back, Rodriguez told the court that Mr. Gray does not want to waive time for this arraignment, and they proceeded to go forward with the arraignment. Attorney Rodriguez actually ended up telling the court that Mr. Gray no longer wants to waive time. We are asking for a preliminary hearing.
So this is definitely a way better breakdown than the breakdown that Angie Smalls gave. It's a lot clearer. No disrespect to Angie. I love you to death, beautiful. I hope that you're having a great day. But this nigga Alex is giving us the legal terminology that we were looking for.
Hearing within the period because, and then he also said, I'm still lacking discovery. And, but he's hoping to get the discovery from the prosecution before the preliminary hearing. So I thought that disagreement between Johnny Gray and his defense attorney was kind of interesting because you could tell that Mr. Rodriguez, the defense attorney for Gray, did not want to waive. I mean, he wanted to waive. He wanted to waive time to June 26th so he can get the discovery, obviously, which makes sense. If you don't have the discovery, there's no need to rush a case. For some reason, Johnny Gray does not want to wait till June 26th.
It seems like Johnny Gray knows that some possible things could be discovered, and whatever could possibly be discovered, Johnny Gray does not want them people to discover it. So let's go ahead and get this out the way before these niggas start looking into what I got going on.
Arraignment, and then perhaps have his preliminary hearing sometime in July or maybe August. He even spoke to the court and said that he did not want to waive time. He's got other cases too that he doesn't want to waive time on those. He wants to get this process going.
It sounds like Johnny Gray has a bunch of things going on, so he's trying to knock out all his cases at once. Maybe he was on a run. Maybe he had warrants. Maybe he has open situations. All this little situations and blah, 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 blah. So he's trying to knock out this case for sure, for sure. That makes sense.
Because he wants to go home. He literally said that he wanted to go home. And that's an indication of a disconnect between his defense attorney and the client, because the attorney wants to gather the information and Mr. Gray wants to go ahead and move forward. So the judge told Mr. Gray, you have a right to have your preliminary hearing within 10 days. You have a right to have your arraignment right now. And then you have a right to have your preliminary hearing within 10 days of the arraignment. So they entered pleas, Mr. Rodriguez and Mr. Fletcher. And
now, I think that when it comes to this arraignment situation, again, everybody has to, like, pretty much at the most part, do what's best for them. You feel me? I would imagine that after a certain amount of time, these dudes would separate their cases from one another. I would imagine after a certain amount of time, these dudes would separate their cases from one another, because it doesn't really make sense that these guys will continue to, you know, do these things next to each other and all that kind of stuff. Like, I wouldn't, you know, really see how that makes any type of real sense. You feel me? But hey, man, you know, whatever.
entered not guilty pleas on behalf of their clients. And then the judge set a date for preliminary hearing. When the judge says we are 8 of 10, that means that they're going to set the preliminary hearing on the 8th day after arraignment, even though you have 10 days. They don't want to schedule the preliminary hearing on the 10th day because there's a chance of an unforeseen circumstance that prevents the preliminary hearing from happening. And if that recurs, then you end up violating the defendant's right. So rather than waiting to the exact 10th day from arraignment, they do 8 of 10 in this example. And 8 of 10 means we're going to do it on the 8th day. We still got 2 days in case something happens on that 8th day. So that 8th day is going to be June 17th, 2026. And that will be the preliminary hearing.
So now we know nothing is going to go until that day of that preliminary hearing, and we'll start being able to figure out exactly what more is going on with this Young and Jefe case.
We'll be having that preliminary hearing in another department. And then after the arraignment, Young and Jefe's attorney, Loyster Fletcher, had a few words to say outside of court.
I have not as yet received the discovery in the case. That would include the complaint, include any documents or narratives, etc., police reports supporting the charges. So I have yet to review that and do a deep dive into that. So I have very limited facts.
So there you hear it. Young and Jefe does not have a public defender. He has a private attorney. But I would also like to add that at this stage of the game of a case, it is quite all right to have a public defender. There's no need to spend additional money on an attorney when it's just an arraignment.
Yeah, there's no real need for that. Now, you want your lawyer there when it's time to fight these charges and all that kind of stuff. You feel me?
There's not much going on in an arraignment. You're just pleading not guilty. And even when you go to preliminary hearing, you don't really need to be that concerned about your case when it's preliminary hearing. All the state is going to do is present a little bit of evidence so that the judge can bound the case over for trial. At that point, you'll have a better understanding of your discovery. You'll have a better understanding if you want to fight the case, or you can determine whether or not you'll plead out. But there's no need to retain a private attorney this early in the game. So I don't think there's anything to be embarrassed about. A lot of people want to shame people for getting a public defender. But at this stage of the game, at this early point of this case, private attorney is not necessarily needed.
Currently, he's being held at Twin Towers.
Well, it's actually not needed right now because, again, there's no actual decisions being made by a judge outside of when the next court date is going to be. So it's not really necessary to bleed a lawyer with this situation.
He is in good spirits. He's happy that he has hired a private counsel and that I'm on the case. He's making $2 million bail is the schedule for a murder 1, which is what Mr. Shulman is being charged with. But I believe
he's being charged with murder 1. Okay, got it.
He is being overcharged. So I believe the bail is substantially too high, and I'll be addressing that with the court.
Now, that's interesting. The defense attorney believes that
he believes that the murder 1 is too high of a situation. So the defense attorney is maintaining that Young and Jefe is not guilty of this murder that he is being convicted of.
And Jefe is being overcharged we did hear and Jefe call in.
Wait, that's Alex's sound. I got mute.
The bail is
Okay, so my sound didn't get mute, y'all. Alex's sound got mute. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. Alex muted up, not me. I wasn't sure. Let me see. Hold on.
The defense attorney believes that young and Jefe is being overcharged. We did hear and Jefe call in.
Yeah.
The county DA reject the first court date.
We've already heard Young Ann talk about this. We kind of hear for what Alex.
And also, even in the probable cause statement written by the police officer, there seemed to be some sort of contradictory statements. One where he was saying that young Ant was trying to de-escalate or stop the situation between an unidentified person that I called suspect 4 and the victim, Carl Welch. And then in the very next sentence, he says that young Ant assaulted him. You know, it seems a little unusual, not impossible, but
that definitely seems unusual that something would transpire so rapidly that he would go from trying to defend this person and trying to absolve the person of any type of, flu, flammery, skullduggery, and larceny, and then it would immediately be turned into, I guess, the person being accosted by the same person who was just trying to, for lack of a better word, save them and get them out of the situation. It definitely shows that it's immediate, it definitely shows confliction, but at the same time too, we are, still waiting to see exactly what happened by way of videotape or evidence report or, so forth and so on to know exactly how the situation was taken apart. But when you're just kind of looking at it for what it is, or you're looking at it in the totality that it has now, it just kind of makes you wonder how Young and Jefe went from stopping a situation to participating in a situation allegedly. And that does seem like a very major inconsistency in this situation. You feel me? Very, 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 very inconsistent. So it doesn't really seem like it's too logical, but you never know.
It definitely supports the idea that maybe there is a bit of overcharging, but we haven't seen the video. And also, let me say, any of the videos that you've seen on the internet
Are
that have suggested that this was this incident, untrue. There are no videos floating online as of now that represented this incident.
It's my understanding there is a videotape. I don't know what it depicts, but I do know, or I should say, I do understand that based on the opinions of the public defender, that the video substantiates my opinion that he is being overcharged, and this is not a murder case.
So the private attorney Fletcher spoke to the alternate public defender, who actually has seen the video. Now, remember when young Ant called in, he said his public defender, his attorney at that point, had already saw the video, and they had some issues with what they were claiming young Ant did in this situation.
The public defender came to me and explained what was on the paper that was from the camera, and basically the public defender was like, man, look, this is crazy. I don't know how they charge you with murder just from what's on this thing. You know what I'm saying? And from my understanding, it's just like basically, you know what I'm saying, I'm locked up and everybody else that got locked up that they can identify is younger than me. So basically
they want Young and Jefe to be the leader of the young school.
They're trying to, like, I guess, go with this narrative that I had some younger dudes do something.
Now, that parking lot has 2 cameras on 2 high light poles. So there may be actually more than one angle of this incident captured on video. But thus far, no one has seen the video except for, obviously, the prosecutor and the original defense attorney for young and Jefe. Even his current attorney, Mr. Fletcher, hasn't seen the video yet. But he spoke to the public defender on it, and it seems like She believes that what she saw in the video does not line up with the charges.
Based on the charges, he's facing life without parole, based on what the charges are and based on what his prior record is. So that is the worst possible case scenario, obviously.
And there you have it.
He is facing a life without parole. So with that being said, man, make sure that y'all continue to send y'all prayers. Make sure y'all continue to send y'all blessings. Make sure y'all continue to send y'all love and y'all support to the channel of Young and Jefe by way of supporting his content, because he could be looking at life without parole if found guilty of these flamers, skullduggerous, and larcenous charges. With that all being said,
hey, Carjack 100 here. If you need your transmission check, come on down to Carjack's. I'm your transmission expert.
I'm glad that you enjoyed that content. We heard the cries, we heard the complaints. Now we don't got no intro, but we do got an outro with the same information, man. Make sure that you are tapped in. Make sure you dropping comments. Make sure you dropping likes. Make sure you subscribing to everything we have going on here at TNN Trap News Network, because we will be giving away some more Chiliana once we hit that 40,000 membership, 40,000 subscriber, threshold. We're going to make sure that we give y'all some Chiliana, man. So make sure that y'all stay tapped in. Make sure y'all stay looking out. Make sure y'all stay right here at TNN Trap News Network. The news you can use, the knowledge you're not finna get in nobody's college. Hit a like, hit a comment, hit a good subscribe button for everything we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. We're gonna keep you updated on what's going on these YouTube streets. You already know the deal, man. If you enjoyed this content, throw the red dot to the left. You know the rest. We gone.
Hi, I'm Whack 100. When I'm not snitching on the internet, I'm snitching in real life for your own personal home security. Call 1-800-WACK-ATTACK. We're first, law enforcement second. Hey, I'm Adam22. Got an extra soul laying around? Be like Doughboy and Whack 100 and sell yours today. One soul equals a lot of clout.
Apollo Jackson.
It's dangerous. You can't come outside when it's dangerous. Work all in the floorboard. Tell the ops, check the scoreboard. You can't come outside when it's dangerous. And if you shoot, you ain't miss. A nigga ball like game 6. A nigga ball like game 6.
You can't come outside when it's dangerous. Gotta get the blicky when it's dangerous. Young niggas, we done came from Nathan. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. Water like us niggas up in game 6. Mix it with the bullshit, you can save it. Water like us niggas up in game 6.
Game 60 bands on my neck when I got it on me. And I remember I was broke, I never let them hold me. Final seconds with my back against the wall, 81 points strong with this K, I call it Kobe. Running through this lettuce, nothing you can tell it. Gotta watch my back, I know that they get jealous. Real shit, I got rich, ain't gotta embellish. Real life made men, they call us good fellas. And I ain't got anxiety, I know it's intuition. May never love a bitch, but I for sure play my position. I know the streets talking, I'm cracking, so I ain't tripping. I said I play for keeps, but I guess them niggas ain't listening. Sick like Jordan, call it game 6. Shoot like Curry, and I can't miss. Nah, you can't come outside when it's dangerous. You niggas never outside when it's dangerous.
You can't come outside when it's dangerous. Gotta get the blicky when it's dangerous. Young niggas, we done came from Nathan. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. Water like us niggas up in game 6. Mix it with the bullshit, you can save it. Water like us niggas up in game 6.
I've been winning, tell my ops check the scoreboard. Money in the attic, work all in the floorboard. Late night, that's the life that we pray for. Overtime with the pack is what we in the game for. Put myself in the game and everything is just a memory. Made a couple plays for the pain, not an enemy. Gotta watch my friends more, I gotta watch the enemies. Frank is hella fake, I know what enemies intentions. I let it go until it click if I'm aiming. Started staying safe and ended up staying dangerous. Game on the line, see the pressure I can take. Hall of Fame shit, so if it's mine, I'ma take. Niggas sick like Jordan, call it game 6. Niggas shoot like Curry, and I can't miss. Niggas never outside when it's dangerous. You niggas never outside when it's dangerous.
You can't come outside when it's dangerous. Gotta get the blicky when it's dangerous. Young niggas, we done came from Nathan. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. niggas up in game 6. Missy with the bullshit, you get safety. Ballin' like us niggas up in game 6. You can't come outside when it's dangerous. Gotta get the blicky when it's dangerous. Young niggas, we didn't get from Nathan. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. Ballin' like us niggas up in game 6. Missy with the bullshit, you get safety. Ballin' like us niggas up in game 6.
Safe like Jordan, call it game 6. Shoot like Curry and I can't miss. You niggas never outside when it's dangerous. You niggas always inside when it's dangerous. Shoot like Curry and I can't miss. Niggas sick like Jordan, call it game 6. Niggas never outside when it's dangerous. You niggas never outside when it's dangerous.